Welcome into Giants Training Camp Report presented by Investors Bank. Coming up on the show, our Brandon London sits down with Golden Tate and Andrew Thomas. But first, I'm Madelyn Burke, joined by two-time Super Bowl champion David Diehl on a very windy day out at Quest Diagnostics over here, in case you can't tell. But Diehl, obviously the wind, the breeze is probably welcome for these guys who are working their butts off out on that practice field.
No question. You love days like this in training camp to take the temperature down so the sweat factor isn't at a 9 or 10 and people are worrying about getting IVs. And more importantly, when a day like this that you have, you've got to capitalize on each and every opportunity. And more importantly, push yourself even harder, because let's face it, coming September 14th, I don't think the weather is going to be this nice.
Exactly. I mean, these guys are out here, whether you're a rookie or you're a veteran, you're trying to prove yourself to this coaching staff to earn a spot on that 53. How do you catch the eye of the coaching staff in training camp?
I think number one is showing your football IQ, that you know exactly what you're supposed to do on the field. You're able to communicate effectively to the other players. And the most important thing that you can do is make plays. We've talked about this. When you don't have the preseason games and they're trying to replicate that with the scrimmage, that is your opportunity to show these coaches and showcase what type of player that you are and the dynamic that you're going to bring to this football team in 2020.
Well, and you mentioned that scrimmage coming up Friday. We've got the blue and white scrimmage, and we've got some young guys, some veterans. Veteran running back Deihl Lewis talked a little bit about how he's approaching this season.
I always have a chip on my shoulder, being a smaller guy. I always kind of, motivate myself and have a chip on my shoulder to prove people wrong. So, I just come out every day, work, try to earn my teammates and my coach's respect every day, and just come out by the way I work. So I just come out, work hard every day, and just try to get better every day and compete. And, and then hopefully everything works out.
All right, Deihl, this scrimmage on Friday under the lights at MetLife Stadium. For some of these guys coming out there, it'll be the first time in an NFL stadium. How different will this experience be?
It will be very different. Obviously, when you're used to having Groundhog Day in training camp and you're out on those same practice fields all the time, that routine tends to get tedious. But when you get into an NFL stadium and they're walking into MetLife, number one, you always get that feeling and those butterflies in your stomach, because this is what you love to do. This is the arena that you want to do it. Not to mention, the expectation that you have gets ramped up. The competition gets ramped up. And being in that environment is exactly what it's going to be like opening up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, knowing that there aren't going to be fans in the stands.
Well, and also, too, we heard from Deihl Lewis where he's talking about the chip on his shoulder. How much have you seen teammates of yours be driven by that in the past? I
mean, that's one of the biggest motivating factors a lot of players have is, let me prove those who say that I can't do it wrong. And you see that with him. Obviously, things in Tennessee didn't turn out the way that they wanted to, and everything went through Derrick Henry. So as a 29-year-old running back in the NFL with a one-year prove-it deal, you should have that chip on your shoulder, because it comes down to your actions and your play on the field that are going to solidify everything.
Well, talking about the play on the field, what are some of the matchups that you are looking forward to seeing in Friday's scrimmage?
I'm definitely looking up to the IQ match of Blake Martinez on the defensive side of the ball and Saquon Barkley. We continue to talk about touches for Saquon Barkley, and it's not just running the football and him going to be able to fill those gaps. It's making sure that they have him lined up and cover him in one-on-one, because they're going to use Saquon Barkley as an extension of the running game in the passing game, whether it's the swing passes, the option routes against those linebackers. Those are areas that this Giants defense needs to improve.
What about in the passing game? What are some of the things that you're looking for, especially in this young secondary in the defense?
Darnay Holmes has continued to make progress and make plays in camp. The rookie out of UCLA has shown a lot of confidence. And the thing that I love to see about him is, listen, no different than when I played left tackle. You're going to get beat. It's going to happen at some point. But the thing that I love that you see out of him, he lets it wipe away. He doesn't let that linger on to the upcoming plays. And when you're playing up against a player like Sterling Shepard, who he's going to face in this scrimmage, who's a constant veteran and who has gotten so much sharper with his eyes. That's the one thing when you're a wide receiver going out on your routes, you can't tend and go looking with your head and with your eyes. We've seen that head still out of Sterling Shepard, and Holmes is going to have a challenge this week.
Darnay Holmes is definitely going to have a challenge to show what he's got. Another rookie who's probably going to try his best to put some good film on tape is Andrew Thomas. Our Brandon London caught up with Andrew Thomas. We'll hear from him after the break. Stay with us here on Giants Training Camp Report presented by Investors Bank. We'll be right back. Introducing the official Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Get the checking account that lets you score big. Giants training camp report is driven by the Hess toy truck. The 2020 Hess Minis and first ever plush toy truck are available now, with the 2020 holiday Hess toy truck coming November 2nd, all exclusively at HessToyTruck.com. Welcome back to Giants training camp report presented by Investors Bank. As Giants first round draft pick Andrew Thomas adjusts from the college game to the pro level, our Brandon London caught up with the rookie. Take a look.
Andrew, it's been a weird year for rookies all throughout the NFL. So how are you getting adjusted to the NFL new norm?
It's different, not having rookie minicamp and OTAs. Obviously, we've been on Zoom calls for the past, 3 or 4 months. And coming in, it's been a difficult adjustment, but I'm doing my best, just working hard every day, just trying to adjust to the new tempo.
When it comes to getting to know your players and getting to know your teammates, rookie traditions are a big thing. Are you guys still doing rookie traditions this year?
Yeah, so we had the little skit that we had to do. The offensive rookies, we actually made a video, just impersonating some of the coaches and stuff like that. And then sometimes you have to get up there and sing or tell a joke. I had to sing the other day.
You can't just end it on "I had to sing the other day." What'd you sing? And can you give us a little snippet?
I sang "Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone" by Bill Withers. And you said you want a little bit?
Just give me a little taste.
Just a little bit. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away, doom, doom, doom. That's all I got.
Okay, I'm glad that's all you got, Andrew. Stick to the kick slide, bro. Stick to the kick slide.
I will.
No, I'm just joking, man. But hey, that's great that you're being humble around the guy, especially as a first-round pick. So let's get into the football aspect of things. You get to line up with Will Hernandez, Kevin Zeitler, and have a position coach like Mark Colombo. What's the mood like in the position rooms, and what are you guys' goal as a group this year?
Coach Colombo is molding a very physical, tough offensive line. We got some vets, that's been doing this thing for a long time, and they can, try to bring us, us rookies up, and I think we're going to be pretty successful.
Andrew, there's SEC speed, and then there's NFL speed. You guys put the pads on for the first time a couple days ago. How did that feel to put the pads on, and was that like, hey, this is my first day in pads, so this is my first day officially as an NFL football player?
Yeah, I was excited. Obviously, we've been in shorts and T-shirts for a while, and that's all good. But, NFL comes down to putting the pads on, especially from my position. So I was excited to get down, get the pads popping a little bit and just keep trying to get better each and every day.
It's all about getting better, man. Good luck to you, and good luck to the guys in that group. And thank you for talking to us.
Appreciate you. Have a good day.
Diehl, I love that not only did he admit to singing that, but he gave us a few lines of that song. Ain't No Sunshine. I think he's got some talent there. But not just talent singing, talent on the field as well.
No question. That's the one thing that I love about Andrew Thomas is he's being himself, and he's fit right into the culture of the New York Giants organization, not to mention the leaps and bounds that he's taken out here in practice, the physicality, the most important, the mental toughness to be able to overcome obstacles, which he's done out here on the field time and time again. And he's only going to continue to get better. When you see a player that loves the game of football, loves the physicality of it, and has the size and athleticism to get it done, that's a bright spot and a bright future for Andrew Thomas and the New York Giants.
When Friday, when we have that second scrimmage of this preseason, he's going to be going against fellow Georgia Bulldog Lorenzo Carter, Marcus Golden. What are some of the looks that he's going to see in some of the matchups that you're anticipating there?
These are great matchups for him because they bring different assets of playing the defensive end position. Marcus Golden wants to power you and then set up his edge rushing moves, and Lorenzo Carter wants to work those edges and use the speed. So the fact that he's getting two dynamic pass rushers that are giving him two different looks, it's just setting himself up for success when the regular season starts, because each defensive end comes in with a different game plan, and when you can practice them out here effectively, that's what gives you confidence in the games.
That's also something Lorenzo Carter alluded to earlier in this training camp as well, is that, so many different skill sets in that room that they don't have to try to play outside of their game because they're giving these guys different looks just by playing their own game. But, talking about Andrew Thomas and what he could learn as well, when he's lining up next to a guy like Will Hernandez, Hernandez, who, now he's in his third season here. What can he learn from Will?
Just learn from the experience of what Will went through, starting his rookie season, all the games, the pattern of what it takes to get your body physically prepared for it, and the mental toughness aspect. Week in and week out, it's going to bring a different challenge for you, a different tempo, a different intensity, and you've got to raise that challenge and your ability to diagnose things and be a student of a game. So when you sit next to Will Hernandez, who is now going into his third year and has experienced it from starting until now, it is only going to bode well for Andrew Thomas and his development.
When you're a rookie offensive lineman, what's the biggest shock coming into the NFL?
For me, it was very quickly when I'm looking across at Warren Sapp. That's going to be an eye-opener for you when you're starting your rookie year. And that's where they talk about the speed of the game and, more importantly, the dynamic moves that a defensive end has. When you're in college, we used to call some players one-trick ponies, that if you stopped that initial rush on them, they didn't have a backup move. When you're playing in the professional NFL game, they have the secondary, third, and fourth move already ready in their head. So you've got to be able to stop those initial rushes and expect a counter move.
All right, well, Giants fans, I'm sure, are looking forward to seeing the Giants' first-round draft pick get on the field. But coming up after the break, we'll take a look at a veteran as our Brandon London sat down with Golden Tate. That and much more to come here on Giants Training Camp Report, presented by Investors Bank. Stay with us. Giants Training Camp Report is driven by the Hess Toy Truck. The 2020 Hess Minis and first ever plush toy truck are available now, with the 2020 Holiday Hess Toy Truck coming November 2nd, all exclusively at HessToyTruck.com. Welcome back to Giants Training Camp Report, presented by Investors Bank. Golden Tate is going into his 11th NFL season. He recently sat down with our Brandon London for a conversation.
Golden, you're going into your 11th year. You've been through old school training camps, new school training camps. Now, what's the adjustment like to the new norm for football in this training camp?
For the first few days, I felt like a rookie, just not familiar with anything that was going on. I'm so used to being, at Quest or, at the practice facility, and suddenly we are at the stadium with all this space, different meeting areas, and just having to wear masks and these lanyards with stuff like that. But it's something that we're getting used to. But it's our new norm. We're just kind of dealing with it day by day. I think from top to bottom, ownership to coaches to players, we're all just trying to make adjustments to stay safe and get ready to play football in September.
And you guys get Sterling Shepard back this year. Darius Slayton had a coming out party last year. What's the mood like in the receiver room, and how good can you guys be this year?
The mood is definitely high. We have a lot of confidence right now in who the personnel we have, but also the playmaking ability, the playbook we're really excited about. We're just hoping that we all can stay healthy and help our team win week in and week out. I know as a receiver, we take it as, it's going to start with us, and we need to show up every single day of practice and including games to spark our offense.
Daniel Jones is in his second year. Now, people keep talking about how he bulked up over the offseason. What have you seen from him both physically and mentally since you guys have started practice?
Yeah, well, obviously he's gained some muscle, and he looks great. His arm strength is still very, very powerful. Mentally, I think the game is kind of slowing down for him. But what impresses me is like he's so hungry to get better every single time he steps in the meeting room, every single time he steps on the field. And as a leader of the offense, that's what you want to see. And so I'm excited for his second year. I know that he is as well, and we're all just trying to learn this offense and gel together.
You have 660 career catches. What expectations do you put on Golden Tate this year?
I didn't even know that number, so thanks for letting me know. I'll make sure I share it with my family. Honestly, the personal stats, they don't matter to me. Just how I'm built, I want to win. I want this organization, these cities and states to feel winning consistently. And so that's the only thing I really care about is just showing up and putting a great product on film and on the field week in and week out. With the personnel we have, I feel like we have a really good chance to do that, but it's only going to happen if we continue to do what we're doing right now, showing up with purpose every single day, trying to get better, trying to learn the offense, the defense, and special teams the best we possibly can, and we'll go from there.
Showing up with purpose. I love it. Showtime Tate, thanks for joining us, man. Good luck with the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we've got a lot more to come for you here on Giants Training Camp Report presented by Investors Bank. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Giants Training Camp Report is driven by the Hess Toy Truck. The 2020 Hess Minis and first ever plush toy truck are available now, with the 2020 Holiday Hess Toy Truck coming November 2nd, all exclusively at HessToyTruck.com.
First day, baby. First day.
Today is this day.
There you go. Step and shoot. That's better. Yeah. Right. Get up. Hop it. Get up. There we go. Good. There we go. All I'm trying to get you to do is activate that foot and that hand moving at the same time, all right? Here we go. Listen. We jumped you. Show me off. Go on. Eyes.
I can do this all day. I'm cool with this, baby.
Listen. A good fight.
And then we got running back and forth, back and forth. That's what
Listen. Yeah. There we go.
Welcome back to Giants Training Camp Report presented by Investors Bank. As you can see, that D-line is working hard under Coach Sean Spencer, affectionately known as Coach Chaos. But Coach Spencer recently spoke about what he's looking for and what he's seeing from Leonard Williams this training camp.
I think one thing is he's doing a great job of taking the classroom work, the work we do in the meetings prior to practice, and being able to bring that out on the field and do the things we're asking him to do. Clearly, as you guys know, he's a unbelievable athlete. I think he's starting to put it all together. He's always had the tools. He's working on refining his craft right now. He looks strong, and powerful, like you said. And, I'm just happy with his progress right now.
Diehl, I think last season, one of the conversations that we had was, Leonard Williams was always involved in the plays and almost on the stat sheet. But what are you looking for to see from him this year?
The one thing that I love to see out of him is more vocal leadership. We know that he is not the loudest guy in the world, but you really see him taking accountability and being that vocal leader and helping lead this defensive line, being the elder in the group, which sounds crazy. But the thing I'm continuing to look out of him for is the continued use of pass rush moves. The one thing that he can work on is when he's bending that edge is there's a slight false step that he had last year that was deterring him from closing in, and instead of having just a pressure, closing in and getting those sacks. Those are the big things that we want to see out of him this year. And the thing that I love to continue to see out of him that doesn't show up on the numbers, the gritty work that he does up against the run. When a guard is trying to reach him on an inside zone, he forces that outside shoulder of the guards to bend in, forcing a running back to go right where the flow of the defense is. So the fact that he is so sound with his techniques and fundamentals in the run game and transitions that over into the pass game, as if he gets rid of that false step, he's going to have some big numbers this year.
Is it challenging as a player when you are very close to just making those stats, getting those sacks, but there's that one thing that you have to adjust? How tough is it to overcome that final hurdle to get from very good to excellent?
Well, it's not that hard. And like I said, it could be a split step that takes away that false step that you have that can get you to close. And I know, as being a former offensive lineman my entire life, if you block a defensive end for 70 plays and on the 71st play he has a sack, he thinks he has a great game, and so does everybody else. But that's the impact that a sack and a possibly forced fumble causes on a defense, not only by getting offense off of the field, but it changes the dynamic and the tempo of a game immediately.
A lot of changes this season, coaching staff, a lot of new players. But in this D-line, you got Leonard Williams, you got Dexter Lawrence, you got Dalvin Thomas, and you got B.J. Hill. All these guys kind of coming back, and they had a really good bond last year. It seems like that's really continuing in this training camp. Does that really help a team kind of sticking together like that?
No question. That chemistry is huge because you know that the guy fighting next to you is fighting as hard as you're fighting for him. And when you have that, that's when great things happen and units come together. And I also love the fact they're doing different things dynamically. One may bull rush, one may work an edge, one's going to double team, the other one's going to split and create chaos. So the fact that they have different bodies and a repertoire of moves now, and the fact that they can use them in different personnel ways to create one-on-one matchups that are favorable for the defense against an offensive line, that's what's exciting to see the depth come through.
Well, and as you said, they're going to create chaos. Luckily for them, their D-line coach is known as Coach Chaos. So it's a perfect fit, really, a perfect fit. All right, well, we're going to keep an eye on what we see from them as the Giants have their second scrimmage, the blue versus white scrimmage this week, and we'll keep you updated with all the training camp news here on Giants Training Camp Report presented by Investors Bank. Keep tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm Madelyn Burke. He's David Diehl. We'll see you next time.